Greetings, travelers. Welcome to episode 741 of these very awkward and strange Bible study devotionals that we're trying to attempt to do, where we can try to devote a little bit of time to seeking first the kingdom of God, maybe trying to learn a little bit more on how to become better fishers of men, maybe even how to learn how to sow a little bit of a seed. And even if we don't catch a single fish or plant even a single seed, we can at least just ponder and meditate upon God's word, and maybe some new questions will arise, maybe some new verses that we have forgotten about, or we need a good little re-upping, maybe a little bit more growth in some areas that we may have forgotten. And we're going to get into that, and after that, we're going to get into learning how to ride the BMX bike, which, by the way, I know it's kind of weird because we're riding in this little area, this very, very little area. It's actually ridiculous at this point. It's actually so crazy to me that I'm not burnt out of riding in this area. It's actually hilarious. Because I actually did grow up racing, and it's just so hilarious. If you go to a BMX racetrack, it is like probably like 1,000, like probably 500 of these things. You know, it's maybe not 500 of these things, maybe maybe 100 or so, maybe more than that. But it's just hilarious to me. And if you were gonna tell me, if you were to tell me when I was a little kid that I was gonna be riding in a little 15 by 15 square foot area and still not getting burnt out and somehow still just having fun, I would have probably told you that you were crazy. But here we are, and for some odd reason, I don't know what it is with these flatland tricks. I don't know if I'm just a very slow learner. I don't know if these tricks are just really hard, because there's also not really too much of a level scale on some of these flatland tricks. Because I have heard from some flatlanders that are like, oh yeah, that trick was easy for me to learn. And then I'll ask another flatlander, and they say the complete opposite. So I'm like, that's weird, you know. And what's also weird about flatland is there's just a lot of geometry stuff that changes, and I could feel it. There's like some tricks, man, that just seem easier with certain geometry. Some tricks are harder with certain geometry. Bike weight has a factor in some cases, and it's very interesting. But we will get into that after the Bible study, and maybe we'll do I've been trying to do, so how these streams have been going is I'm trying to do these streams without getting burnt out, right? The thing is that I am going to be riding my bike this much anyway, right? So that's why I'm trying to do these little Bible study devotionals, because the thing is that I'm only going to be riding my bike this much anyway, so I could at least, try and devote some time to God. Now the thing is prior to this, I did not do these Bible study devotionals. How these streams actually start is I would just read a verse and then just go into bike riding. Maybe that's what I should be doing again. Maybe to show an example of maybe how to try and plant a seed. But honestly, but the thing is that it seems like every time I do one of these Bible study devotionals, it seems like I always just learn something, or there's just something that I hadn't thought about, and I just find them interesting at this point. And it just kind of almost feels like we're leveling up our speechcraft ability, and just and it just gives me some time to read, because normally I probably wouldn't read anything. That's the other crazy thing, man, is I know it probably seems weird because I'm reading these commentaries and stuff like that, but growing up I actually was not a big reader. I was actually one of those people, I'd go into Barnes & Noble and I would actually buy the fantasy books and stuff like that. I would tear off the cover and not even read the book. I literally have a bunch of books on my bookshelf. I have never even read the book. I just tore the cover off because I like the artwork on it. Sounds ridiculous, but but that's, and the other weird thing, here's the other weird thing about the whole drawing element, and how I even kind of got into a little bit deeper into reading, was that there was a time when I would do these people's RPG character commissions, right? For WoW, or Dungeons and Dragons, or even I actually did some Warhammer character commissions as well. And the backstory, some of these guys are wild, bro. Some of these people have developed
these entire like 20-page, even more than that sometimes, just backstories of their characters, man, that they play on these RPG games. And I'm like, what in the world, bro? This is insane. Like, and the thing is that sometimes, like, if you get into like character commissions and, you know, people coming up to you wanting you to like draw their characters and stuff like that, the thing is sometimes it's kind of like they want it kind of like strictly done because they put so much time into, you know, writing these characters out. And so that actually got me into reading because I had to start reading because sometimes like they give you all these descriptions of these characters you have to draw and stuff. So it's kind of funny. But yeah, what was also weird that I found is when I started doing like the paladin characters and like some of these like holy class characters, the lore of those characters just went so deep, man. And I'm like, what in the world? This is just really weird. And that kind of also mysteriously kind of got me deeper into looking into more of the lore of these classes and, you know, where are the origin stories of some of these classes, like say, you know, like the paladin or the cleric or maybe even some of the nature classes as well. But yeah, let's get into this Bible study, and today we're going to get into a verse that I've yet to even cover. Let's see, I had it underlined earlier. Let's see here. We're getting into Luke. Actually, let me put this over here. We're going to get into Luke 12:32. Let's see here. I think that was the one that we're going to get into. Yes. This is the verse we're going to get into today. Fear not, little flock, for it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. Now, yesterday we went into the verse of thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven, right? But also some of the translations say thy kingdom come and things of that nature, right? So it's just like wondering, and it's actually weird because this part of Luke is kind of like Luke's recount of the Sermon on the Mount, which I find it very interesting. And I guess we could just read, let's just get a little context of this, and we'll just read a bit about this. Let's see here. Consider the ravens, for they neither sow nor reap. They have neither storehouse nor barn, and yet God feeds them. How much more value are you than the birds? All right, I gotta look at this kind of closely. Let's see here. Than the birds. And which of you, by being anxious, can add a single hour to his span of life? If then you are not able to do as small a thing as that, why are you anxious about the rest? Consider the lilies, how they grow. They neither toil nor spin. Yet I tell you, even Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these. But if God so clothes the grass, which is alive in the field today, and tomorrow is thrown into the oven, how much more will he clothe you, O you of little faith? And do not seek what you are to eat and what you are to drink, nor be worried. For all the nations of the world seek after these things, and your Father knows that you need them. Instead, seek his kingdom, and these things will be added to you. Fear not, little flock, for it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. This part's actually really interesting right here as well. Sell your possessions and give to the needy. Provide yourself with money bags that do not grow old, with a treasure in the heavens that do not fail, where no thief approaches and no moth destroys. What's actually kind of funny is this verse right here kind of started inspiring me. If you notice, a lot of my characters, I draw these little bags of just like, they have like a little bag. It's kind of funny, like even just this one right here. You know, I like draw these little bags. I know these bags are really easy to draw, but that verse right there started making me draw these little like bags. Sometimes, and I actually don't even know what it actually looks like. I'm wondering if it's just kind of like, is a money bag just kind of like a little fanny pack? I'm actually not really even sure. Let's look that up right now. I'm actually curious. What is that? What is that? Why does that say that? Why does that verse say that? Actually, I haven't looked. I actually wasn't expecting to go into that verse today, but I'm actually curious on that. What's up, Creative Fit? What up, man? By the way, you do not need, dude, I apologize, man. Anybody that's watching this stream, you guys do not need to be watching these things. I'm basically doing this as a practice, or these are like practices. This is like me training, practicing, and stuff like this. But also, I think I think people just think I'm crazy. That's the big. I think literally people just think I'm crazy. But honestly, it's like I find it kind of fun, and I know it sounds weird because I feel like I hear a lot of other people, they're just like, they think of like the Bible as like this boring thing. You know, they think, you know, because I think so many people equate reading with boredom. And I actually used to think that way too. Like I brought it up earlier. I actually used to think reading was boring too. But the thing was, is that I feel like sometimes you have to manage your energy levels. And if we can manage our energy levels when we get into reading, or maybe it's okay, so maybe we should think about it this way. Now, actually, there is this one dude, and he started talking about this, and he it's a weird thing because he started talking about intermittent boredom. You know, like you hear a lot of people say, oh, well, there's intermittent fasting and all this stuff. Well, this dude was bringing up intermittent boredom, right? And I don't really remember the video too much, but he said something like, we're all going to experience boredom with our lives. Like, you know, there's some things that we just cannot not be bored of doing. And sometimes we have to do these things that are just boring, right? Well, the thing is that sometimes if we can allow ourselves not to maybe get so deeply recessed maybe in a dopamine fix from certain things, because you know how certain things just give us a bunch of dopamine. Like it is just so fun, like that you don't even want to do anything else. I mean, that's kind of what starts even heroin addicts, right? If we look into like heroin addicts, that's what starts happening, right? They get such a big dopamine fix that they do not want to do anything else. They'll literally sell everything just to get a fix of that dopamine, right? And what this dude was talking about is that there's this like dopamine thing of where if we can actually make things that could seem boring to a lot of people, but we can actually somehow make it fun. And I found that very interesting because it kind of goes into the level of getting burnt out, you know, because if you were to take a look into what causes people to get burnt out of something, right? Because like if there's a track record, right? Because I feel like this is what's been weird about these Bible studies is because like I'm trying to do these Bible studies in such a way where I do not get burnt out. And it sounds ridiculous, right? And I honestly, it would be so cool, man. I wish like more like pastors or just like people, just any believer, honestly, would just do these Bible studies. Because I would like to see like just believers, just if they just could just do a little Bible study every single day, right? And I'm just curious like how they would go about doing it. Like would they write something, or just like would they pre-plan everything out? Would they just go into it cold? Because I kind of like just going into it cold because I'm just like, okay, well I have no, like there are some days where I don't even know what I'm gonna get. I just pick a verse. I'm just like, you know what? I've never looked at this verse. Let's just see. But there's like but with the technology that we have right now, bro, it is so much easier nowadays because. You know, you could look at, like, you could do a Bible study on a verse that you heard another believer bring up. You could literally look up a definition of a word that you don't know. Maybe you can look up maybe an emotion that you're experiencing, maybe a frustration that you're going through. Maybe you're even doubting God. What verses are kind of confusing you? And we could just, like, look it up and there's so many commentaries just right on the spot, bro. The technology that we have right now, it's straight up just, it's baffling to me. Because back in the day, man, it wasn't like that. Like, back in the day, bro, I'd be, like, having to, like, take out books and stuff like that. I'd be having to buy, like, we'd have to, like, go and, you know, go to some different town because they had some sort of scroll or something like that, because they a scroll with a commentary or something on it. It's hilarious, right? Sorry, I haven't been looking at the chat. Holy moly, what are you guys doing up in here? Crazy for Jesus Club. Well, the thing is, I just kind of find it interesting, right? Because especially if you look into John 1:1. Let's turn to John 1:1, everybody. John 1:1's a very strange, chapter. Just John 1, the very first chapter of John 1:1, right? It was this one right here. It says, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God." Look at that. The Word was God. Now, it was weird because I think most of us have grown up knowing that verse, right? Where it's like, okay, you know. And sometimes this is actually what happens, right? A lot of times when we read a verse so many times, we actually almost ignore it. Like, I wouldn't say we ignore it, but you know, like when you get numb to something, like when something happens so many times, you kind of just go, okay, you know, I know about that, right? But what's weird, bro, is I met this believer out in Long Beach, and he was like this computer programmer. Like, he was this gnarly computer programmer. Like, he was like this crazy computer guy. And he brought this verse up to me, and I'm just like, what in the world, bro? And and take this with a grain of salt, because I've actually never heard this from any pastor. I've never heard it from another believer. But you know what this programmer told me? He told me that the Word of God is like the program. And it's like the program that God made for us as humans to break us free. Like to ultimately break us free and to set us free. And it's just so weird. It was just very weird for a computer programmer to tell me that. And then he brought this verse up to me and I was like, man, that's so weird. And then, I mean, even if you think about AI or something like that, right? What do we put into an AI system? It sounds hilarious, and it's weird that I'm bringing this up, right? Because AI is actually taking away a lot of jobs at the moment, and a lot of artists are flat out tripped out about AI and stuff like that. But even if we take a look at that, what do we put in there? We put in text prompts and stuff like that, right? For the AI to start generating, right? And it's just so funny that, like, if you really think about it, like, if you really, really, really think about it, and the Word was God, right? So how crazy would it be if the Word was somehow some sort of program that was like maybe put into existence by God before all of this was to occur? And it's crazy. I'm not doing it justice. The thing is that when I met this guy, like, he was very eloquent in his speech and how he related it to programming and things of that nature. I'm not a programmer or anything like that, so I don't really know. But when I heard him, I was like, man, this dude just tripped me out. I was like, what in the world? And the other thing that he tripped me out, and actually we kind of drew it yesterday, is he started going into Ephesians 6. You know how Ephesians 6, in the last part of Ephesians 6, it says, and the sword of the Spirit is the Word of God, right? The sword of the Spirit. This programmer guy, he told me, well, do you know why they call it the sword? And I was like, well, it's just part of the armor of God, right? Paladins or something like that, right? That's what I told him. But he said what was weird about that is that if you put S in front of word, it becomes a sword. When our words can actually become like swords. Like, we can either defend thoughts, or we can even get pierced by our own sword, by our own words, right? Our own internal monologue can actually pierce us. I probably make no sense what I'm talking about. I don't even know how I even got into this, but we kind of went on this weird rant. But let me see. Let me look at these. Let me see what you guys are talking about. Let's see here. We be here for you, Jamie. Let's see here. Levi's here, huh? Let's see here. Voice of Levi. What's up, man? Dude, I hope you're doing good, man. I know you've been on a crazy journey, huh? You've probably seen some things, man. That's the other thing, man. It's very interesting talking to people. Like, I actually find it very... Now, the other thing... Now, you got to be careful. I don't know the age range of anybody watching these streams. But the thing was, I actually used to live in my car out in Long Beach, right? And the thing is that I did encounter and meet and befriend a lot of homeless believers. And some of these homeless believers, I think... most people would probably consider them crazy. But the thing was, man, there was something mysterious about them. And the big one that it was very mysterious about is that they had so much of the Word of God in them, but also that they were content. I feel like because in the time that I was experiencing that, I was not content. I was going crazy. I was actually probably the most angry at God at that time. I was like, God, why are you putting me through this? This is ridiculous. Like, this is crazy, right? And then what's crazy is what's insane about the whole story is that, like, I started meeting okay, so imagine you get thrown into this position where you're, like, basically homeless or something like this, right? And you're going crazy maybe, right? You're angry at God and all this stuff. But what would happen if all of these people that you were starting to be surrounded by, they were these homeless people, and they were just content, just completely not a worry in sight. They were completely just like really trusting that God was going to provide for them. That is a very, very strange experience, man. It's such a mysterious experience, and it's almost like you have to be thrown in that element to even experience it. And it is crazy, bro, because there are literally, right as we speak, there's people out there living like that right now. And it's just so crazy, man, because it's like, sometimes, like, our societal standards that society puts on us, there's so much weight on, like, having to be like this, or we have to be like this, and if you're not like this, then you're a failure in humanity's eyes. But what's crazy, and what tripped me out too, is that, like, we read a lot of stories about some of these prophets, some of these people that, even the Lord Jesus Christ himself, man, some of these guys, if we were to even see how they would be living today, in a sense of, maybe how they would be living today, I think most people would think they were crazy. You know, like some of these people, I honestly feel like some of these churches would probably not even want these people in their congregations because they'd probably just be too crazy for them. You know, like that's what I think. I don't know, man. Let's see here. Glad you're better being... Oh, man. You guys are actually chatting a lot, huh? Holy moly. Normally I don't have too many chatters up in here. Sorry, I'm kind of like... let's see here. Committed... Oh, heading to affiliate for... Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, I'm going to try and let things happen naturally. You know, with the affiliate thing. The thing is that prior to the affiliate thing, a lot of people actually got affiliate is that before Twitch changed it, you could actually just watch your own stream and it would count as a viewer. So a lot of people actually got affiliate that way. And I was kind of thinking about doing that, but then I was like, I probably shouldn't even do that, right? I should just have to do it naturally. Truth is God and God is truth. I've heard a similar saying that the Bible stands for basic instructions before leaving Earth. You know what? I've heard that as well. And that, you know what's actually really weird about that is I've actually heard a lot of pastors bring that up. Now, the thing is that that's actually not in the Bible. But I think it's a good, what is that, an idiom? I don't know what a phrase or something. I don't know what that would be called, right? Trusting God is a real superpower. Thank God for California. I know, dude. California, bro. I know a lot of people. I know the thing. I love California. I think the other thing is just because most of the BMX industry is in California, and I know, but the thing is a lot of people hate on California, I ain't gonna lie, and a lot of people are all tripped out. Why are there so many homeless people out there? I'm gonna be really honest. Here's my own answer for why I think there's so many homeless people out there. It's the weather, brothers and sisters out there. It's the weather, bro. I mean, it's like, come on, man. Like, you can literally be in the wintertime. You can have like probably need two little blankets and you can live out in the wilderness, bro. How crazy is that? I mean, imagine living out in the wilderness in some crazy subarctic climate, bro. Like, are there homeless people out in the Arctic? I mean, that's what I'm truly curious on. Like, is there one single homeless person like living in the Antarctic right now, right? I don't know, man. If there is a homeless person out in the Antarctic, I give them credit because that is gnarly, bro. That's like straight up just like, that's like full on Arctic sub-zero temperature stuff. Let's see here. Yet the apostles lived similar lives, if not under worse scrutiny than homeless nowadays. Yeah, that's the thing. And I think the other weird thing that I think a lot of people get tripped out, and also I do want to say, I also want to bring up also a very big point, because I experienced it myself. You have to be careful as well. Helping out the homeless people, you need to have, like, I'm not telling you guys that you need to be like going out there and like, you know, because there's also a lot of homeless people that will try and take advantage of you. There's a lot of people, especially if you're a believer and maybe you're kind of gullible, and sometimes, you know, maybe you kind of, you know, how I kind of went about helping some homeless people. I mean, I know we're called to do charity and stuff like that, but if you look into the verses of the least of these, there's a part, we did a Bible study on the least of these verses, right? And there's a part where the Lord says, like, the least of these of my brothers or something like that, right? Well, a lot of commentaries that go into the least of these, they actually say that the least of these are actually the believers that are living in those circumstances. And because I kind of went about that, now I kind of go about, because you will meet a lot of homeless people and they will kind of take advantage, and, you know, they'll be like, you know, maybe they're this full-blown meth addict or like some crazy heroin addict, and they just want your money, and they'll say anything. They'll say anything just to get some money. They'll be like, "Oh yeah, I believe in God," and just give me like $100 or something, or $20. But then for me personally, I'm kind of like, "Hey man, dude, let me peer into your mind a little bit, bro. Like, you know, from the heart the mouth speaks, right? So sometimes I like to peer into the mind of these individuals that are kind of like, you know, doing, and you kind of got to do your own little due diligence. And I really like finding the true believers in the homeless sphere, because they are out there. There's true believers. They don't even need to look at a Bible. They have so much scripture just memorized, and they're content. You know, they're not getting like, you know, they're just, you'll notice it. There's a big distinction, especially like in the homeless sphere in our modern society nowadays, because what you'll start noticing, and what I started noticing in Long Beach, right, is that there's the homeless people that aren't believers, right? And it's a big distinction, right? There's the homeless people that aren't believers, but what ends up happening is because of their emotions of like fear and anger and jealousy and, you know, just frustration and envy and coveting, they don't know how to handle these emotions, right? So how they handle these emotions in most cases is they just get drunk every day. They just beg for some money, and they want to have some meth, they want to have some heroin, they want to just get drunk, they want to just get that fifth of alcohol and just pound it and just go to sleep. Some of them haven't showered for months on end. They're itchy. They're not well rested, right? Because they haven't taken a shower, and they're just itchy all the time, just scratching themselves so they bleed. And the thing is it's very scary it's very scary to see. But also within the scariness, actually, that's how I feel like that's actually a big portion of the homeless in our societies at the moment is actually like that. And unfortunately, we have drug dealers over here with a lot of money because they're making money off of this, and they're actually throwing drugs at these homeless people like it's candy. And they're just like, you know, it's just like, and it's just propelling the problem right here. But here's the thing, is in that scary mess over here, there is these believers, and it's weird because they're out there, man, and they're these believers, and they're sober, and they don't need drugs, and they're content, and they're trusting God, and they're literally, like, it's almost like, what's so crazy about it is like nobody knows what to do with all these homeless people, right? Like, and my pastor, one of the pastors that for this church I used to kind of help out, right? He's like a psychologist, right? Like that's like his job. And what's so crazy is that he knows all these. Now I don't know if these statistics are actually true or not because I haven't like done my own due diligence. But he is a gnarly pastor in Long Beach, right? And what he was saying is that, and he's a psychologist, right? What he was saying is that in some of our modern societies, depending on where you live, and I'm not going to say every single country is like this, but in most countries, we actually have the most amount of psychologists, we have the most amount of therapists, we have the most amount of medicines to treat mental illnesses, we have the most medicines to treat all these drug addictions. But what's crazy is that we have the greatest quantities of all these things occurring right now. But it's just kind of, there's something not working, right, in the societal sphere. If we have the most amount of therapists and psychologists and all these things that are supposedly to heal our mental illnesses, but yet all these people, it's like, what, you know, you think that they would be out there trying to help them, right? And instead of it decreasing, what's actually starting to happen is that there's actually more and more people becoming mentally ill. And so I find that very intriguing. Now, take that with a big grain of salt. I've never looked into the statistics and all that, but I find that very interesting, right? And in most cases, what I started observing about the homeless people is that people don't know what to do with them, so they just kick them out to the street, right? Or they don't, or like even the cops, right? Some people have said, oh, well, why don't we just lock up all the homeless people, right? Let's just put them all in the jail system and just, you know, rehabilitate them or something like that, right? Well, the weird thing about that is we actually don't have enough room to put all these homeless people in the jail because the jails are already, like, overfilled and stuff like that. Or maybe not all the jails, but a lot of jails are actually very much filled up, right? And many times these homeless people really aren't really doing that many crimes to be put in a jail system for months on end or something like that, right? So what ends up, I literally saw what they do, not only in Long Beach, but many other areas, is that the cops, they don't know what to do with these homeless people, right? So what they do is they kind of kick them out, they kick them over here, and there's actually a cycling process that happens. They don't know what to do with them over here, so they kick them out over here, and then these homeless people, the cops over in this area, they don't know what to do with them, so they kick them out over here, and then what ends up happening is then they end up in the same area. And they basically just funnel these homeless people around like livestock, basically. They're kind of like livestock in some weird sense. And it's kind of weird because you think, I don't know, right? And I don't know what to make of this situation, but what I have observed is that it's actually the believers out there that are kind of living within that mess, and they're kind of being like a light to them, right? They're kind of wanting to help them out. They're kind of wanting to like try and change them, trying to heal their minds. And it's crazy, man. I don't know. I don't even know how I got into this, but like, it's craziness. Sorry, I have not been looking at the chat. I've been on this train of thought and I've just been going right into it. Actually, it's not even funny though. That's just it's actually really sad because this is actually occurring right as I speak. So brutal. And the other thing is, here's the other cool thing about the bicycle, man, is the bicycle is a safer way for you to observe homeless people. I'm flat out honest, bro. A lot of homeless people, especially like if you go into some shady parts of town, dude, it gets sketchy. Like it gets sketchy to the point of like, if you're just walking around, bro, and you're just wearing some sort of different color, bro, people will be like, dude, what are you doing up in here? Like, and you're just walking around, right? Imagine you just walking around, just like in a neighborhood, in the back of a house or something. The thing is on the BMX bike or on a skateboard or something like that, it allows you, it basically gives you land. Like this vehicle right here, you basically unlock land that you can just traverse. You can traverse the lands, man. And the thing about the BMX bike or skateboarding or something like that is that people see that you're doing something, right? Like it's like I could literally probably go into some hood parts of town, do some trick on my bike or something, and people are like, oh, okay, this kid's just doing a trick on his bike. He ain't gonna do anything, like, you know? And the thing is that from doing that, you can just like get into some weird parts of town, man. You can just observe people. And also it's kind of safer because of, you know, someone tries to like, you know, jump you or something like that, or like try and steal from you, you can literally just book it on your bike. You know, you literally just, you know, whereas like if you're kind of maybe on foot, it's kind of sketchier. And a lot of people think it's actually sketchy when people are just walking around in their neighborhood and you don't know who they are. But if you see somebody in there and you see them like, you know, maybe they're getting a clip or something like that. And the other weird thing is I have had people tell me, well, why did I even start associating myself, like even talking to some of these homeless people, right? Well, the big one was that some of these like street spots, right? If you get into street BMX riding or like street skateboarding or like scootering or whatever, right? You know, something like that. The thing is that people want to find like these spots. They're like, it's like basically like a skate park, you know, like a skate park, but you know how like the skate park's all nice and well crafted. Well, some of these spots at a skate park, well, they're kind of out in the streets too sometimes. And people like to find these like NBDs, like never been done. Like, oh, dude, nobody's hit that spot yet. And maybe there's like a really cool shot of something. Like maybe there's like some crazy architecture, or it's like some crazy art installment piece, or maybe it's just straight up in the back of an alleyway. That's a really rare spot. And sometimes these spots are very, very rare. There's some spots that you can only find them out in the streets because the skate park ain't gonna make them, right? And so this actually makes a lot of the people in the BMX sphere and in the skateboarding sphere go into these shady parts of town, maybe sometimes a lot of times maybe even in the hood, to find these spots. And it's kind of crazy, bro. And because of that, I kind of in an early age, I was kind of like kind of already kind of associated a little bit with just seeing homeless people and like seeing this kind of stuff. And it's just kind of funny. Well, it's actually not funny. It's just like, it's just really weird and it's just really strange. And I don't know, man. So yeah, the bike, very interesting, and it's a safer vehicle to traverse the landscapes. Holy moly, you guys have said a lot. Let's see. I feel for the homeless around my town here in Alaska. Today it has been -10 and 5 degrees. Holy Toledo, you live in Alaska? That's crazy. I did not know you lived up there. That is amazing. Alaska seems like a very beautiful place. I have heard the mosquitoes in Alaska are brutal. Like they're like brutal, the mosquitoes. Goes here. It's great. Stop hating folks. Can't be Cali weather. Missed it for 13 years. Oh yeah, I know, huh? Had a friend painting portraits of homeless folks. Now that would be interesting, right? There's actually another dude that used to do that. His name's actually Koro Kaufman. He's part of he works for like the entertainment field doing like concept art and stuff for these movies and stuff like that. His name's Koro Kaufman, but he actually did a series where he oil painted all these homeless people, and actually they would take homeless people off on the street and they would be like models. Like they'd be like, you know, they don't just drag them in there. They like pay them and stuff like this, but they go, hey, do you want to be a model for a whole bunch of painters? And then they bring this homeless person in, and all these painters like paint them and stuff like that out in San Francisco. I don't know if they're still doing that, but I know Koro Kaufman. I actually have his concept art video, which is funny. I have one of his painting videos about when he was kind of doing that. Let's hear. One guy turned his life around just after being listened to. Interesting. Some homeless people are homeless by choice, too. Not saying all are, but there are definitely a few around that do choose it. Yeah. That is interesting. Yeah, it's just weird, right? It's just very odd. For me personally, it's very mysterious. Just reading a lot of these stories about these major, I mean, even just thinking about Elijah. Now, I know nobody says Elijah was homeless, but bro, Elijah was told to go by a river by Cherith and live in a cave. I mean, I guess that's not being homeless, right? You're living in a cave, right? But it's just like, I don't know, man. Like, you know, you think about that. You think about like Moses leading the Israelites in the wilderness for 40 years. I mean, were they homeless, right? It's like is the wilderness season, you know, it's like just, it's hilarious. Or even thinking about John the Baptist. You know, John the Baptist was said to be living out in the wilderness. He had a gnarly camel's hair cloak and just living off of wild honey and locusts, man. That's crazy, bro. Like, it's so crazy because we study these characters so deeply. We read their words. We meditate on these people's words. It's almost like being like, I mean, imagine like seeing your pastor. Imagine seeing your pastor just being some homeless guy, dude. Just a gnarly homeless guy. Just being, dude, that would be rugged, bro. That would just be so gnarly to see. Like, I'm actually curious. I've actually never seen a pastor that was homeless. But that would be crazy, man. Just, I mean, it'd just be so insane. He'd be like, you know. But I'm wondering, like, is this what some of these people, some of these characters, and some of the people in their society thought? Were they just like, why are we listening to this guy? This guy's a homeless dude. Like, this guy lives out in the wilderness. I don't even want to, like, this guy's not even, like, sophisticated. He doesn't even live out in our society right now, right? It's insane, man. I don't know, dude. Sometimes there's these big paradoxes in Scripture that really, really trip me out. And also what kind of trips me out, too, is sometimes I wonder, like, if God, maybe the Lord Jesus Christ, was pre-warning humanity about, like, maybe some sort of, like, crazy technological age. You know, what happens if we get to the age where it's like Terminator or something like that, where robots are just taking over and, like, just everything's just going, just, you know, and what if there's, like, this band of, like, people that just start living out in the wilderness or something like that, right? I don't know, right? That's just my own crazy thoughts. Okay, let's see here. Man, I haven't even looked up a commentary. I've just been, like, talking. Just thinking. Some homeless people... Oh, let's see here. Did Levi... Oh, I wonder... Mosquitoes are miserable. They are huge, too. I'm allergic to them. So I avoid wearing short-sleeve clothes in the summer. Interesting. Do you wear the mosquito repellent? I know some people bring that up. Or, like, the mosquito net thing, you know? Okay, where are we at here? Let's see here. I totally, like, got sidetracked up in here. I don't even know how I got this. Man, these Bible studies are so weird, bro. How did I end up going, fear not, little flock, for it is your Father's good kingdom to give you the kingdom, and then we went into some crazy ideas, bro. These Bible studies are a trip, dude. You know? I feel like if I were to write this up, I probably wouldn't have said all that stuff. Okay, so we're getting into this. Fear not, little flock, for it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. What does that mean? Well, first it says fear not, right? And I know some people have said fear not is mentioned like 365 times in the Bible, which I actually don't think that's true, because some other believers said that, but a lot of believers will say that if you talk to them. But fear not is actually mentioned many, many, many times. Fear not. Like, God's always saying that. Like, fear, do not fear. You know, do not be anxious. Do not... And it's kind of interesting because every time I hear that, it makes me think about, like, Star Wars. It sounds ridiculous, right? But the thing why it makes me think about Star Wars is because, you know, in Star Wars it says fear leads to anger, anger leads to hate, hate leads to suffering, you know? So I always think about that. Okay, so we're going to read some of these older commentaries today on Luke. Holy moly, it's almost been 40 minutes. Dude, these Bible studies are a trip, dude. Holy moly. Let's see, okay. Luke 12:32. Fear not, little flock, for it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. I'm going to read some of these. I'm going to read Ellicott's commentary. I've never read commentaries on this verse, by the way. Let's read this. Fear not, little flock. The words continue to be spoken to the inner circle of the disciples. They are the little flock. The Greek has the article, to whom the Father was pleased to give the kingdom, which is righteousness and peace and joy. Wow. Well, I think all of us would, maybe not all of us, but most of us, and I think generally the believers up in here would want that, right? I would like righteousness, I would like peace, and I would like joy. That's a big one. I actually really, that's actually, the joy part, see that word joy? I really, really, really noticed that with genuine believers, man. They are joyous. And, I mean, actually one dude, his name's, he just streamed today. His name's Pat Sir Dudson. Dude, that dude is so joyous, man. Like, he is, like, I literally, every time, like, I see him doing a Bible story or something like that, I'm like, man, I gotta be more joyous, bro, because it's just, like, he's just always on. And not only him, but also, like, Zelda the Hobbit. There's a whole bunch of other, Sir Derpy, there's a whole bunch of other believers that stream, and that's a big one that I see in their lives, man. They're not, like, these angry individuals. They're not like, ugh, you know? Because there are some streamers that are the complete opposite. Now, I think some streamers, they actually kind of just play, you know, they kind of just play to the masses because maybe they blew up because they were very angry, right? And now they maybe almost, that is just their natural inclination just to be angry at everything, right? And they're just like, but man, that would just, not gonna lie, if I was angry at everything like that, bro, I would go crazy. I would straight up, like, I could not live like that, man. I would just, like, I'd be so frustrated all the time. Like, I just, you know, and just, like, I think that's a good mark of a genuine, maybe, I mean, I'm not going to say all believers, but I know joy is actually part of the fruit of the Spirit. So, and peace is actually part of the fruit of the Spirit, right? But joy, it's the one that I kind of have to keep reminding myself of. And also, it reminds me of the psalm where it says, let us rejoice in the day let us rejoice in the day the Lord has made, or something like that. I don't remember the exact words on that. But also there's many verses that talk about rejoicing, right? Even in our trials. Like, even when James says that we're supposed to we're even to look at our trials and tribulations with joy. That is one of the hardest things to do, bro. That is, like, flat out, man. If you ask most people, like, if they were going through some storm in their life to, like, try and be joyous, dude, they would probably think you were crazy, right? But the thing is that I think what's important, what James is bringing up about talking about being joyous in our trials and tribulations, is that it's like the little spark, man. It's like not being so pessimistic to the point of you're just going to, like, give up. But it's going to give you this little, it's almost going to give you more strength to hold on, to kind of, like, not give up, right? To keep going, and just to endure, right? Okay, let's keep going. Let's keep reading this. There is an implied recognition on the fact that the flock had passed beyond the stage of seeking for the kingdom. In its essence, it was theirs already. It is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. Literally, your Father was well pleased to give, as resting upon an object. The Greek verb appears in Luke 3:22, Matthew 3:17, Matthew 12:18, Matthew 17:5, and Mark 1:11, as followed by a verb of action. It is used in the New Testament only by St. Luke and St. Paul, and so forms another link in the chain of coincidences connecting them. Oh, it's funny. That part where it says link in the chain of coincidences. Every time I see the word link, I just think about flatland links. So this is actually something that's actually more prone to the flatland realm, but not really in the street riding or park riding thing. If you talk to a lot of flatlanders, it kind of tripped me out when I heard them say it. I was like, bringing up, hey man, dude, this combo's cool, you know, this combo's like, you know, this combo's all gnarly, and they're like, Link, you know, that Link's awesome. I'm like, well, Link, why are you guys saying Link? Like, but I guess that's what Flatlanders use the terminology Link instead of combo many times. I like to use the word combo because that's just what I've been growing up to use the word combo, but a lot of people like to use the word link. Now, what's actually funny is that there's actually this olden Bible. It's called a link chain Bible. It's called a link chain reference Bible. I actually think I don't have it out here, but I have this really old Bible, and I think it's one of those Bibles. But it's basically like this Bible, and it has just a bunch of combos with other verses and stuff like that. Okay, let's read another commentary. Benson commentary. What is the Benson commentary going to say? Okay, let's see here. Benson commentary. Fear not, little flock, you, my dear property and charge. However feeble you may seem, fear not, I say, that you shall be left destitute of these common blessings of providence. For it is your Father's good pleasure. He takes delight or joyfully acquaints you, which I've never seen that word before. Acquaints. Let's look that word up. I've actually never seen that word before. I need to look it up. Acquaints. I think that's how you say it. What does this mean? Accept something reluctantly but without protest. I have never heard anybody use that word before. I'm going to be really honest. Acquaints. I might even be saying it wrong, but acquaints. In giving you the kingdom, even the kingdom of eternal glory. And can you possibly imagine that while he intends to bestow that upon you, and even takes pleasure in the thought of making you so rich, great, and happy, there he will refuse you those earthly supplies, such as food and raiment, which he liberally imparts even to strangers and enemies. And since you have such an inheritance, regard not your earthly possessions. Sell that ye have and give alms. That is, be ready when God calls you. And with exigencies of Christ's members will require it. So to do and be so far from the sordidness of the rich man, who would not give up his superfluities to the needy, as in these cases to relieve them out of principal or main stock, as knowing this heavenly kingdom is to be obtained, not by hoarding up of treasures here on earth, but in consequence of an interest in Christ, and union with him through faith, by distributing them his poor and destitute members. This was a precept peculiarly calculated for whose time in which the profession of the gospel exposed men to the loss of all their goods. And it was probable it was as a fruitful seed in the minds of some who heard it, and the liberal sale of estate a few months after, by which so many poor Christians were supported, might be in great measure the harvest which sprang up from it, under the cultivation of the blessed Spirit. I'm not going to lie, this commentary is actually very hard. Sometimes I read some of these older comments, I'm like, what is this guy talking about? I don't know, man. Sometimes it's but I like how they said that. Cultivation of the blessed spirits. Cultivation. By the way, cultivation, that word right there, is actually a very interesting word. And that's actually, the root word of that word is actually cult, by the way. And if you guys go into looking into what cult means in the Latin verbiage, the Latin definition of the root word cult actually means to grow. And what's very interesting, if you look into the Latin verbiage of the word cult, it's actually a big root word in many other words, like culture, like agriculture, arboriculturist, someone that plants trees in this nature. But the big one, or cultivation, right? Difficult, right? There's all these things, and it goes into, basically, if you look at the Latin root, it basically means if anything is growing, it could somehow even be considered cultivation. It's actually really crazy if you look it up. I'm not lying. You guys look it up. Now, there is kind of a negative connotation with the word of that in the modern sense, but it's interesting looking at like the deeper definition of that word, because it's actually, dude, that I only brought up a little bit of words, but there's actually a lot of words that go into like cultivating and things of that nature. It's like it started with like farming and things of that. And here's the big ironic thing about that word. Actually, even the word cult is, I watched this old Christian documentary, and now take this with a big grain of salt. I know it's kind of controversial, but what's really weird about this Christian documentary is that the Roman leaders at the time, and actually the Jewish leaders at the time, considered Christianity a cult because it was growing in the empire. And it was growing in the empire so vastly and so quickly that they didn't know what to do with it, because these people were like, they were having churches like underground, and they were doing like, people just thought, it was crazy, man. It was like, it's a very weird, very, very, very interesting word. There's a lot of lore with that word, but also there's a lot of negative connotations. Now, there is big negative connotations as well, because, you know, there could be negative things that are growing, but also there could be positive things that are growing. And ultimately, what are we trying to cultivate, right? Are we trying to cultivate something that is, you know, trying to help grow the kingdom of God? Or are we trying to grow something of, you know, maybe not the kingdom of God or something like that, right? So yeah, very interesting. But you can look it up. There's a lot of lore to it. Okay, let's keep going. Nothing is more probable than some of the minds of the myriads now attending our Lord in Luke 12:1 might be in the number of thousands then converted. Okay, well, that was a weird commentary. I feel like I'm going to be honest, I feel like that commentary was kind of just confusing. I didn't really understand that. I'm going to be really honest, I kind of didn't understand that commentary. We're going to read one more little commentary. We're going to read the Barnes Notes on the Bible. Hopefully this one's a little bit more palatable. Now, I think I could by the way, I think I could understand some of these commentaries better if I were to maybe really kind of maybe study it a little bit more. But sometimes I feel like some of these older commentaries, they just use thousands of words for something very simple, right? And I think that's cool, because it almost kind of feels like it's almost like they're rapping or something, you know, like when you hear somebody spitting, when you hear somebody you know, making a rhyme or something like that. They're just using all these crazy words and stuff like that. It's kind of like that. It's actually very interesting. Okay, let's read Barnes' note on the Bible. Little flock. Our Savior often represents himself as a shepherd, and his followers as flock or as sheep. The figure was beautiful. In Judea, it was a common employment to attend flocks. The shepherd was with them, defending them, provided for them, and led them to green pastures and beside still waters. In all these things, Jesus was and eminently the good shepherd. His flock was small. Few really followed him, compared with the multitude who professed to love him. But though small in number, they were not to fear. God was their friend. He would provide for them. It was his purpose to give them the kingdom, and they had nothing to fear. Isn't it funny that that's what that guy said? Now, actually, this guy actually did combo it out with a verse. Do you guys know what verse that he comboed it out with? I'll give you 1 second. It was actually Psalms 23. Now, it's actually really weird that it doesn't say that in there, but he actually comboed that with Psalms 23. He didn't say it was Psalms 23. I'm wondering if that's why he did that. He's like, do you guys know where I comboed that from? I'm going to put it in there. It's almost like a question thing. But, kind of interesting, right? Okay, well, I guess let's continue forward. That was the Bible study of the day. I know this Bible study is really weird, but, it's already been almost an hour. Holy moly. I guess we'll read, let's read Psalms 23. Let's read what Barnes comboed it, and here's what I like actually reading about all these commentaries. So if you read all these different commentaries, it basically seemed like every single commentary person, they comboed it with a different verse than somebody else, right? It's like this guy comboed it with that verse over there, this guy comboed it with that verse over there, and this one comboed it with that verse over there. And that just trips me out. I'm just like, man, what in the world? That's so it's it's like finding a link, combo. I'm just trying to find combos, brothers and sisters. We'll read Psalms 23. Let us read Psalms 23, and Barnes comboed it with this one. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. Now that part trips me out. How am I not supposed to want anything? What in the holy, I'm not gonna lie, that part always trips me out. That's why I underlined that part in red. Let me read that again. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. Now, it's actually kind of funny when he says green pastures. Because you know what's kind of funny? Is I started drawing all these things in a green pencil. That's one of the reasons why I started, not this verse right here, but it's kind of making me think about that. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake. How crazy is that, man? That the Lord is leading, could potentially be leading us for his name's sake. Maybe in that area where you are, maybe you could be in some weird wilderness season. What if the Lord's leading you in some crazy situation that you need to be there, right? Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. For you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Now, it's actually interesting. We have done many Bible studies on this verse. Maybe like 2. I guess that's not a lot, but maybe like 2 Bible studies on it. But I remember one of the commentaries on this one where it says, even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I'm going to actually underline that with red right there. What one of these commentaries was saying is that it wasn't really like death itself, right? And you can only imagine, like, you know, sometimes, have you seen those like memes of like, well, it's not like a meme, it's like kind of like a drawing, like a little artwork thing. And you know, like when a shadow gets projected onto something and it like looks way scarier than it actually is. But in your mind, if you don't know what's causing that shadow, it's like it looks way more like scary, and you're like, oh my god, like that's some crazy monster, but it's like some little like thing that's just the shadows just hitting it, making it look all crazy, right? Right? That's what one of the commentaries I remember was bringing up. And this is actually a very famous verse, a very famous psalm. If you bring this, I mean, I think even if you, no matter what denomination on it, I mean, I don't know, maybe there are some denominations that don't like this verse, but like generally, I think in my opinion, if you were to bring up Psalms 23 to any denomination, they'd be like, oh yeah, I've heard about that one. What's also weird about this Psalms 23 is if you look up on YouTube, there's this one YouTube video of like people surviving out in the wilderness. Like there's like this one guy that survived out in like the ocean for like 140 days or some absurd amount of time. And he said that he had this psalm in his mind, and it said that it kept him strong to keep going, and he didn't give up. I mean, I don't I don't know, man. I feel like that's a trip, dude. Like he said he didn't even have a Bible with him. He just memorized that psalm and he just repeated it to himself. And not only that, but there's a whole bunch of other people that they've went through some crazy trial in their life, and they just had that psalm, and it just strengthened them to not give up, and they just kept enduring. So yeah, man, something to learn. That's actually not even funny. I shouldn't even be laughing on that because it's actually brutal. Brutal, actually, way brutal. Like stuff that I can't even imagine myself. I mean, like straight up imagine yourself living like out, like full out in the wilderness. Like it's gnarly. Anyway, that was the Bible study for today. I don't know if we got anything out of this one, but you know, well, at least we tried. We attempted, right? We attempted to try and give some glory to the Lord. And honestly, these things. This one actually was actually very interesting. This one kind of flowed. Some days they're not like this, by the way. Today it kind of like this one kind of like, you know, flowed. But some days it ain't like this. Some days it's like I'm like struggling, or some days I'm tired, and I'm like, you know, I'm just kind of like not fully into it. But yeah, now we're gonna do a card draw. Let's see what we draw today. And then we're gonna get into bike riding. Which is when most people don't watch the stream, is when I generally bike ride. So most of the people, it seems like people just listen to these Bible studies, which is kind of cool. It's kind of like you get to. It's almost like we're kind of like a little campfire. And tell a little story, right? But the bike riding is really fun. Very fun. Honestly, I find bike riding fun more than any video game I've ever even played. I'm going to be flat out honest with you, man. This right here, any video game I've ever played, bro, this right here, man, it's just rewarding, bro. I feel like I mean, I'm not even lying. I think you get a runner's high. I think there's an element of like you get like not only a runner's high, but I actually think you get a adrenaline surge. You get adrenaline. You get like I don't know why they call it a runner's high, but like you get that whatever that is. I don't know what it really is, and it just I don't know, man. It's like you're using your entire body and it just feels good. Just like it just feels like. It feels like life, dude. It feels like life. That's the best way I could describe it. Like if you want to like, it just feels like the virility of, just like the. See, this is what I don't know what else to describe. It's fun, man. I don't know, dude. Every day at a general that time kind of schedule. I just wish more people would do these Bible study devotional, man. Or if they would just share a verse. Actually, there is this one really, really gnarly skater I kind of grew up with. Like, he's gnarly. Like, he's, like, brutal, gnarly skateboard. Like, he's, like, one of those, like, bull riders that just, like almost, like, Hesh, like, kind of, like, Dogtown-ish kind of, like, bull skaters, man. And, like, the thing is, man, it's so weird because, like, he recently put a verse up on his profile, and it's a very peculiar verse. I was like, wow, that's so strange. And I actually used to go to church with him. That's the other weird thing. I used to go to church with this guy. But the other thing is, the verse that he put on his profile, now I'm not going to say his name. I don't know if he would want me to say his name, but the verse that he put up on it, he put up that verse that says, no weapon formed against you shall prosper, something like that. So that's a weird verse, man. And it's just crazy that this dude's still a believer, because I remember his dad, like, him taking us to church and stuff like that. It's kind of crazy. So if you're out there, man, shout out to you. Okay, let's do a card draw. By the way, this is not a tarot thing that I'm doing up in here. I've never done a tarot in my life. This is, I tried to pick all these cards, and you can kind of customize it. These cards, it's just fun for me. It's also just kind of like a quick. I honestly feel like this is just a quick game, because honestly, like I honestly feel like I don't have enough time to do certain things. Like I would want to play a bunch of WoW, really. But the thing is, I just don't have that kind of. It sounds weird, but it's like it's either I can devote my time into bike riding, all of it into bike riding, some of it into the I'm trying to always devote it into God's word, but it's also then we're trying to do the drawing, and I feel like I don't even have enough time to play video games. It's crazy. All right, first card of the day, but this is kind of like a game to me, and it's quick, right? It's like just something quick that we can do. Okay, Staff of the Wild Magus. This one reminds me of Aaron's staff, just because Aaron's staff budded. Man, doesn't that look awesome? Look at the background. I've never it's all misty. That looks really just serene, huh? Second card? Interesting. I have actually, this is the second time I've drawn this card. I forgot I had it in here. Daybreak Chaplain. Human Cleric. Let's read the flavor text on this one. The flavor text says, "May the light shine through me to guide the lost." I know it sounds weird, bro, but that almost reminds me of Matthew 5:14-16, about letting our light shine, right? Okay, number 3. The Shire. Look at this, everybody. We have drawn the Shire. Man, they really went into heavily with that silhouette. Look at that. That's actually very ballsy to do. I mean, I almost feel like that's like a little too dramatic, man. They just there's I don't want to paint this. I'm just going to put this giant shadow right here. But it is cool. Like, they did a lot of work right up in there, huh? I feel like that's not how I would have depicted that one. I would have made it way more green. Like, way, way more green. Number 4. Regenerate. I really love the artwork on this one. Very cool. I like how this part's holographic. Look at that part on like the water and the lilies. It's holographic. Look at that. That's crazy, bro. The artwork on that is amazing. And Rebecca works, this is Rebecca Goy. She works in watercolor and I think watered down acrylic paint. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Interesting. We haven't drawn this card in a very, very long time. Very, very, very long time since we've drawn this card. Curse Break. Now, I am a firm believer of curses, and I do think people can be cursed. Just because if you read James 3, he talks about curses. Now that we've done many Bible studies on that, I'm not going to go into it today, but I do believe in curses, and I do think that people can cause curses, and I also think you can curse people. Basically can you change somebody's internal monologue in a negative way, right? And some curses I think have caused mayhem to society. I think some curses have caused even, have changed some individuals' mindsets to the point where they want to kill people, hurt others, things of that nature. And now, actually, interesting about this guy right here, Sam Wolfe Connolly, he's the one that painted this. Now, how he actually works is he works with pencil, and he works on very thick paper. Very thick paper this artist works on, and he uses very, 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 very light, watered down acrylic paint. So watered down acrylic paint to the point you can't even tell that he layers it so much and so much and so much, and then you get something like this. By the way, I know his technique. I know that's what he was doing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Generational curses too. That is true. That as well. I actually forgot about that. Ancestors' Prophets. Another acrylic painter. Man, isn't that one gnarly? This one reminds me of the Sons of Thunder, James and John. This one's done by this one's painted by Kev Walker, by the way. Kev Walker is a very big acrylic painter. Now, I do know Kev Walker's technique. Kev Walker works mainly in pencil and acrylic paint, but also he uses something that a lot of artists don't use, and he uses masking fluid. So after he paint, I don't actually know if he paints the, I think he paints the character first, but what he does is he actually uses masking fluid, and he masking fluids the outline of his character. And then what he does is he'll either do the background, or I know he uses masking fluid for sure. Okay, let's hear 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I'm gonna do this one on my Instagram. Okay, it's actually really cool, going in and kind of seeing how these artists do this, because this is not AI. That's actually why I like doing this too, because people painted every single one of these. They did not use AI. I don't like AI actually, but we're at the point where I guess we're just gonna have to live with it. Maybe not live with it, but I don't know. But I don't like it. A lot of artists actually don't like it, but here we are. Welcome, travelers, to the card draw of the day, where we get to observe some artwork and maybe find some combos and think of some storylines. Today we drew Staff of the Wild Magus, Daylight Chaplain, The Shire, Regenerate, Curse Break, Ancestors' Prophet, and for the last card of the day, we drew Confessor, done by John. John Avon did this one. He's actually a very well-renowned landscape artist. It's actually it's so weird. He's done so many landscape lands that it's actually weird seeing him paint a character. Actually really crazy how he did that. I wonder if he did looks like he did airbrush and acrylic paint. I really did that. That's very interesting. Cool one today. I really like this one right here. Regenerate. Man, doesn't that thing look crazy? Anyway, barrel everybody. Try your best in F1. Hopefully it works today. This is the last card we drew. Confessor. What is a confessor? I don't know. Creature's a cleric, though. It looks like a dwarven cleric. A dwarf priest. And that was the card draw of the day. Now we get in bike riding. This is kind of cool. I just kind of like just seeing the artwork, right? There's like combos you can do, you know. You know, like this card right here has inspired me to start doing stabs with like a little thing growing out of it, you know, like. All right. Time for bike riding. Hopefully we can land a 7-whip today. That's kind of been the goal. It's actually been my goal since I got into learning this trick. There are multiple ways people name this trick. Some people call them the pinky squeak. Some people call them multiple fire hydrants. Some people call them the fire whip. I like to call them either multiple fire hydrants or fire whips. But it's basically a one scuff pinky squeak as well. And so far we've gotten to 6, and I'm trying to get to 7. So we're going to try and do the 7-whip. The hard part about this trick is it's a trick that you can get burnt out on. And like I feel like if you don't get into the right rhythm, you kind of start giving up, and you're just like, oh, I don't want to do it. I'm not going to land it right. The thing is it's like one of these, like, it's like a long game trick. It's like this marathon. Like, that's how you have to see, if you want to learn this trick, I feel like that's how you have to see it. And you ain't going to learn this. You got to learn this, like, over the course of a couple years, I think. And you just got to think of it as like a marathon. Like, you're just marathon running this thing. And, you know, and just practice it every day. Even if it doesn't feel like you're going anywhere. You just keep practicing, it. And hopefully you'll just start learning more of the muscle memory, because it's very twitchy. Like there's some minute things that you can do to save it, but also if you don't, there's a lot of mess ups, and if you mess up too heavily, you can't save it at all. That's what this trick feels like. But what's crazy is that when you master this trick, is that you can like just do a bunch of them, bro. I've seen someone do like 30 of them in a minute. Just do. And what's crazy is I feel like, I don't know if this trick's like easier for some people or others, but I have been struggling learning this trick, man. And it's just one of these tricks where like when the Flatlanders that I was riding with at the time, they didn't really do this trick. So when I saw this trick on the internet, I was like, oh man, this is a trick I want to learn, because all the Flatlanders that I was hanging out with personally, they weren't doing that trick. So I was like, I want to learn that trick because, you know, and that's kind of been the goal. Wait, do I have my coffee out here? Oh, I do, okay. Holy moly, it's already 7 o'clock. Oh, this one actually is uploaded. Man, these Bible studies are brutal, dude. Holy moly. Cheers. I think it's good, too. I think what's cool about these Bible studies is that, like, BMX riding is kind of like this thing where I don't really have to talk. You know, and like if you notice a lot of people that stream, you know, they're playing like a video game, right? And like, so they're playing a video game and then they have the chat open right here, right? So they can talk a lot, right? They're always just like, but the thing is, I feel like if I just, these Bible studies, it almost like gets my talking out of the way. It's like everything that it's like boom. And then it's just like, you know, then I can focus on like non-verbal communication. maybe not totally nonverbal, but in the sense of like, you know, really getting into thinking about things. And I apologize if I'm riding my bike and I'm kind of just like, I read everybody's comments, by the way, when I ride my bike. I try and read everybody's comments, but also sometimes I'm just kind of like, in this kind of like sphere. I just want to land a trick, unfortunately. Maybe not unfortunately, but. Okay, let's do this. Let's get a 7-wood, hopefully. Actually, let me adjust this thing. By the way, I have, see that little cross down there, right there? I use that to gauge the camera. There we go. See how I gauge it? Now I know that that is the maximum velocity. Actually, not velocity, but maximum. This angle right here with this cross right there, and then that thing up there, I also gauge it with that thing right there. This is the maximum amount of surface area in the garage that I can get with this camera angle. Unless you have a different lens, I think. Okay, let's put some music on. Let's see here. Fish, fish, fish. We're casting the net, everybody. Cast the net. I don't know what I'm doing. Let's see. Let's begin. Actually, I need to check my PSI. We check our PSI every day. I actually lost a little bit. Do our warm up, a new warm up. A leg with no ACL. We're still able to ride. I don't know how I'm able to ride, but we're still able to ride. All right, first clip, first thing of the day. Okay, let's see here. The good vibes time at the end while I draw. Her wings to rise tonight. Oh, do you like to draw? Anzean wings. Sounds good. Let's see what he's saying.
And hopefully, we can teach each other things, edify. You can just copy everything I do if you want to. You can use all the techniques I teach as well. Probably we can multiply it or something. I don't know. The trick's so weird. Oh, wow. I don't know if I'm doing 7 today. I want to do 7, but I don't know if it's going down. I'm actually going to go, I want to look outside. I want to see the weather outside. When you go outside, it looks awesome. I keep forgetting, man. I almost like, there's like gnarly sunsets right now. Right, let's do this. You're like 15 minutes, I think. Maybe even less than 15 minutes. Dude, I need to run outside more. Holy moly, it looks gnarly outside. Oopsies. I just pulled the cable on accident. I thought it was gonna look crazier, but I guess it still does look cool, but okay, let's pull this out. Let's see a rabbit. Little bunny. Oh, darn it, I don't have my, fudge. I have to go back inside. Oh, that looks awesome, huh? I'll be right back. Rabbit. It was so red, and we kind of missed it, but it's okay. It was like really, really red. Let me get a quick thumbnail. And then keep messing up on me. I'm like just rushing this thing. Okay, there we go. Darn, I missed the sunset. Oh well. Oh well, I'll leave it right a little bit. I'm trying to do something from here.
How do I start a savings habit?
Man, dude, that sunset like barely even lasts like 5 minutes. Brutal.
You gotta crank it up.
Frank's Red Hot. I put that on everything.
Anything. No, it's crazy. I like missed the sunset by 5 minutes.
Why are we here? Is this a fucking kid?
cold out here. I haven't ridden out here in a while. Didn't really land anything. I actually haven't switched to stream tag. I landed one line. Alright. That's all I was going for. I'm gonna land one thing out here. I wanted to land it on the with the sunset, but got a little late. Let's go outside. It's cold here. Welcome to the local street spot. Got a good bank right here. A lot of things you can learn on a simple driveway. I know it seems really lame, but a lot of these like driveway things, you could take it to a quarter pipe. You know, see that line right there? Like you could do it outside of it. It'd be like doing it on top of a quarter pipe. Huh. Let's try and get one more. What I do? Yeah. There was a gnarly sunset. I kind of missed it though.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was like super red with all the clouds. Let's try and get one more clip. Get a clip on this rock. This thing wants to hold. Come on, little buddy. There we go. You get a rock clip. rock clip. Try this one. These always take just a little bit more time, just because the ground's a little uneven. Oh, I didn't break my phone right there. All right, we're going back inside now. Man, I dropped my phone a lot. They're like broken now. Okay, go back inside. Trying to get the 7-Up, I guess. Or our locomotive. Try the locomotive, I guess. Do. Let us enter the climate controlled environment, the hyperbolic time chamber. The most level ground in the lands, a couple miles from here. Okay, well that was kind of an unfruitful expedition. I guess we landed one clip, but kind of janky. I basically ride out there just to get a thumbnail. Because the thing is like once I start riding on uneven ground, it's like it makes a lot of these tricks like super hard. I mean, I guess not that. Yeah, I guess it doesn't make it harder, but it's a noticeable difference. Not saying you can't learn it out there, but it is a very noticeable difference. Okay, now we're going to change the thing. Let's see. Let's go to health and fitness. Boom. There we go, everybody. Welcome back. It's like warm in here. It's super hot out there. At least if I don't land a single clip today, I landed one outside. Nice twilight out there. I know, huh? The twilights. The twilights.
getting high today. Maybe that trick's not the trick to do then. Let's try a locomotive. Pretty close. We're pretty close, broskies. My buddy was a bodybuilder in Long Beach. That's the funny thing. Man, that trick is hard. I'm bad at that one. That was pretty cool. Kind of dig it. Kind of intriguing. Oh, I almost did it. That was close, man.
Happy holidays, everybody. Today we're going to do some pet.
Close, but no cigar. Just like most of the things I do.
Lotion Save Living Car Body Cream. One application a day keeps very dry skin away.
By the way, you can learn flatline in very little areas. There's some flatline riders that this is their local spot, it seems like. This square. You know, let's see if I can do something just in this square alone. Oh, I went out a little bit. That's really fun. This is hard. There's some days like in flatline I can just tell I'm just like a little off. Cause I have to like be like 100% into it, otherwise I start landing things. Peace. I'm gonna lose it. Fuck, I almost did it. That combo was hard. I can never get, see that little gap right there? I made that gap specifically to do the sprocket stall. But I made it too small. So it's just really hard to get into that little segment. Kind of want to let's do some trials line, homies. I haven't done a trials line in a while. Need trials up in here, man. Trials. How should I do it? Should I do it over here? I actually haven't tried the trials line with this tire setup. Kind of wondering if it's going to work. It might not work with these tires. Trials. Man, there's commercials everywhere. Bro. Almost. You like try it, look at Bubblica pedal kick, a Bubblica fakie, a Bubblica fakie, half cal, a Bubblica fakie generator, half bar, no hander, half bar, fakie, half cab, a Bubblica. That's the line in here. We'll get a little 7er or 8er. Fudge. I forgot, this is why I don't ride these things. Come on. If this one was longer, it'd be way easier. But this thing's only like a foot long, so you have to be like really precise. Oh, fuck, what is it? Make adjustments. Wait a minute.
Oh, brakes all sketchy.
You'll never guess what we're doing to the Baconator.
On the Baconator.
Yeah, I just have to adjust my brakes for certain tricks.
What? The Baconator you love from the new President's List. Choose wisely.
Like certain tricks, I have to like lower it. I have to lower the pressure for certain tricks, and then some tricks like this one, I have to have my pressure at a certain gauge. Otherwise, my wheel slips. Ah, so almost it. That's so sketchy. A little bit that way. This is fun. I wish I could just have a child's bike with it. I want to mix trials riding with flatline riding. I'm not running the right gear ratio, that's the problem. I'm running a lower gear ratio, but if I had the right gear ratio, it would make it a little bit easier. Just a little bit. Not that much drastically, but make it a little bit easier. I also have to like find the right like width. Okay. I haven't done this in a while. This line right here. A little rusty. Come on. Come on, brother. Pedal kick's weird. I haven't been pedal kicking lately. Are you kidding me? Alright. It's like right when I get into it, I have to get into the other one. We have to get into the Tri of Bubblica. The Tri of Bubblica. Dude, I cracked the thing. What the heck? Would not be as difficult. Sorry, everybody, this line's a little hard. That's actually why I don't bring these things out, because they just like take me forever to get to land anything. Trials, Flatland, Hybrid. That was close. Darn. Almost landed it. That was all. Man, it's gonna take me 50 more tries to land that one. I know it. I've done it before. I haven't done the half cab to a Bublicka though. I'm trying to do 1, 2, 3, 4. We're trying to attempt the 5 Bublicka challenge. Yeah, 5 Abubakas. Seems pretty easy, right? The thing is, the stuff that I do is just so lame, like, you know, like, well, I think it's fun. A lot of people don't like flatland. That's okay. Ah, la Bublicka. The hard part is coming back to that one. That's the hard part. Cause like you have to just get out of it the right direction. Alpacas. Well, first off, people don't really like brakes, so that's the other thing. I'm basically doing all the tricks that people don't like. Oh my god, let's do it. Fudge. Not enough. Today's the day for it. I almost landed that one. I think that was like it. Like, we're moving on. I should have landed the one that I basically almost did, but. That sucks, man. We were so close to landing that one. I'm gonna mess this tire up. A couple more attempts. I know, it's close, huh? I'm trying to do the trials line into the flatline line. But this first part's a little weird. Something's up with my bike. to. You can watch the failure. You can watch the failure commence. I almost landed this. It's like one of those things that's gonna be hard to get again.
So don't miss our 25.
Oh, you're kidding me. That part's the hard part. This thing. I wonder, I guess it's because I'm doing that back hop. Like the back hop out, you can't really gauge it that well. You know? Because like you can like, it's easy to do, it's just, it's hard to gauge and hit that one. That's what makes it hard. Brutal. This is why I don't ride these things. These are just tiring. This combo, man, is weird. I don't know what you do. I literally almost just landed it. Kind of defeating. I've done it before too. It's not like it's impossible. I've landed this like 3 times already in previous series. Broke that brick. Look at this. What the heck? Chunked the brick out. Alpaca! Come on, let me land it, please. That was not coming easy. I remember, this is actually why I don't touch these things. This very reason. It's because this brick part's hard. That's fine. It's a challenge, that's for sure. It's like beating a level in a video game. Can't we beat the level in the video game? Destroying this brick is crazy. I don't know how I'm like destroying it, but I am. Okay, let's see here. I don't know why it's so hard. It's just a curve. It shouldn't even be that hard, right? What's wrong with it? This needs to be pushed back. Right here. This is a workout. This is definitely a workout for sure right now. This is ridiculous. I should have landed it 10 tries ago, 20 tries ago. I might also do my brakes now. What's crazy is like trials riders do this first try. Like this is like a easy thing for them. Like they'll do this, like they'll do like 100 of these things. I'm struggling with just 2. I guess it's because this bike really isn't designed for it, but it's still doable. It's not like it's impossible. I've done it before. Brutal. Put it on me. Shouldn't be that hard, huh? Shouldn't be that hard in theory, but it's hard. I don't know why. I'm struggling, bro. I haven't struggled in a while. This one's definitely giving me some challenges today.
Ride it out with the trade-offs of treating, or push through the pain.
See if this level's gonna defeat me. I think it might defeat me today. It's like how many tries do I want to actually give this an attempt today? Because I basically almost landed, and that's gonna defeat me. I did the no-handed. I almost did it right there. I got a little impatient with the no-hander. Struggle today. This one is not coming easy. What's that song too? I gotta pick a good song. Yeah, remain joyous and not give up, even in the trial. This is the very thing, right? I should be looking to this with joy. Like what James says about trials. That's what got me in trials ready. What's James? James says to look at our trials with joy. So that's what we're going to do. Let us be joyous in the midst of this trials bike ride. As soon as I can't let it. Are you kidding? Kid. Oh my goodness. You're gonna drive me crazy. It's just that little brick. If that brick was like super long, it'd be way easy. Cause like, you know, you could jump on that side, go all the way over there and land on it. But this thing's like that, and it's like have to land right on that brick. I just did that. I didn't know what else to do. I was gonna do a half cab right there. Through the finishing gate. We made it. Peace. We kind of did it. That was a janky line though. But Bubaka pedal kick, a Bubaka decade. Check it out, maybe we'll stream Mario, but that one's cool. Okay, we're gonna call that as good as it can get today. I'm gonna be battling that all day. The decade one, we'll just take the decade one. I'm just be wasting all my energy. Let's put the trials of stone back into their place. By the way, this stone right here, I was gifted this on my birthday. It sounds hilarious. And what's actually funny is I actually use this thing a lot. And if you guys want like a good stone that like kind of doesn't really, or a curb, this is a good size and doesn't move that much. Maybe a little bit bigger. But it's like big enough to where you can like carry it around, but also like, you can still ride it. And then this one I don't think you guys shouldn't get, but this one always moves on me. You don't get one this side. This one tends to move. And I also put tires on the bottom, try and make it not move as much. Yeah, some precision practice. That was fun. It's definitely challenging right there. Difficulty. Huh. Try this one. Let's go on the complete different spectrum. Let's do a front wheel trick now. We've done the back wheel. Let's work on the front wheel. Oh, where is that? Shattered rock. Shattered stone. I missed it. We missed the target. I kind of want to do the Paint 5 sprocket stall thing. I always miss it. Liberty.
Lowe's sells the best deals are the ones that keep on giving. So don't miss our
Oh, are you kidding me? Oh, that was so sketchy. Darn it. Well, we landed it, but it's so sketchy. Darn, why'd I have to land that one? That one was so sketchy, but we landed it. Large. Oh man. I'm not even gonna count that one. What's crazy is that's actually the first time I've landed that. But I did 5 correction hops. Oh well. I guess we could keep practicing that. Let's practice more love. I know I did stick the landing. We did stick the landing, but huh. Do some cheesy tricks. Alright, let's get it. That was fun, though. You did it. kind of sketchy, but oh well. Oh, my cranks keep going in the wrong position. Oh, I rushed it. Not bad. That's been that cigar. Huh. I need to raise this one up. The brakes have been all jankified. What the heck? My brakes are all weird. What do you? I messed my brakes up with that freaking trials maneuver. Pressing down on them so hard.
I picked the software engineering program because they pay very well. It's a fast-paced industry. The bootcamp allowed me to keep my job, honestly, and continue working. My end goal was to be able to live in a cool city and
Dude, my brakes are all weird
fun
now.
things and enjoy my life, and I just didn't see any of that in the career I was in. I happened to see a job posting that was in Atlanta, and so I said, oh, let's go ahead and apply this. And jokingly put in like a six-figure number as what I
Oh, my brakes are all messed up. What's wrong with these? Oh, you know what? I really messed my brakes up on that trials maneuver. So weird. This one down a little bit. Maybe we'll just put it like that. There we go. Fixed them. I think I just used my. I just like pressed my brakes too hard. I think the locomotive is my hardest trick. That trick is hard.
The Ferrero Rocher chocolate bar. Crunchy hazelnuts, smooth chocolate. Ferrero Rocher.
Oh my goodness, man, this is brutal. It's like just so inconsistent that it's just almost in the realm of absurdity. But like I can get into it, and then when I get into it, I'm like, man, it's doable. Like it's not impossible. Go with multi-whip. Get a little triple. We need to get in the realms of the sevens, man. Quad. Okay, let's see. We just keep gradually progressing. Got the triple, got the quad, get the fiver, let's get the seven. No cigar. Whoa, that was weird. A little slow. Opa. Actually, I need a draw here soon. Maybe I should draw. I think you have a lot of energy. I should draw actually. Peace and love. Remember to bear the fruits of the Spirit. This will draw. I gotta go hang out with some friends today, so. Okay, I gotta get a draw. We gotta draw real quick, so we gotta bang this thing out. Let's draw a picture, everybody. I'm on a time crunch today. I got some things I gotta do. Man, I need to drink some water. Oh man, we're gonna plug my PC in. How about that? Oh, better dog. Oh, better dog. You guys put this into ART. A-R-T. I'm only going to hang out, so we're going to have to just do a draw real fast, okay, everybody? But we are going to draw. That's the thing. We can still make time to glorify the Lord, even if we share one little verse. Or we can glorify the Lord in our bike, or whatever we do, and we give glory to God. Whether we eat or drink, let us do everything for the glory of God. That's what all the pastors say. Oh, snap. Let's see here. Kind of wanted to do some of these different colors. Oh yeah, we could do it that way. Where's that other color I was using? Oh, there it is. We found it. Sorry everybody, I've been looking at the chat. I'm like on a time crunch. Some homies want to hang out, so I gotta speed this up. Okay, let's read some comments. Got myself a bunch of eyes and squigglies. Too bad I can't share a pic. This football player, Jonathan Ogden, is super chill, helping me defrazzle from the crazies earlier. Football. His Wikipedia page came up. I googled the name for the first time. Haha, the Jonathan Ogden was a different one. Shoutouts to all the believers out there. I'm sorry if I ever say anything wrong or if I intimidate anybody or anything. Let us try to edify one another. And remember, sometimes it might seem like I get frustrated riding my bike, but it's all fun. Sometimes it's just like that it's like with bike riding, it's not necessarily like an angry frustration. It's more of just like a frustration. It's almost like a carrot on a stick frustration of like, I know I can land it, but I cannot land it at the moment. And it's like, I don't know. It's like a good frustration, I think. Maybe it's not a good frustration. I don't know. It's fun though. It's just challenging. Okay, let's do this. Oh, I'm not even gonna put on a BMX video today. Actually, I guess I should, huh? I'll have BMX video on the side. Come on. Release my puppy, come on. What should we watch? We should watch let's see here. I want to watch BMS. No, we've been watching that a lot lately. We'll go. I don't know what to watch. Let's see here. Where's Animal? Animal. Thanks. Let's do this, everybody. Let's just begin. Yeah, I think my phone's about to break on me. I ain't go. I think I did put it on the art, right? Oh, maybe I need to put done. Should be on art, I think. Zoom out real quick so we can see what we're doing up in here. Oh my goodness, I just messed this up. What am I even doing here? Ah, fudge. I'm just speed running this thing. I haven't even been thinking what I'm even doing. Oh my goodness, what am I doing here? That's what I say with all these, huh? I just totally, I should have not done that line right there. I just totally messed up right there. Darn. I guess we could do it like... I might restart this. I don't even like it anymore. Oh my goodness, I totally messed it up.
Software engineering program because they pay very well. It's a fast-paced industry. The bootcamp allowed me to keep my job, honestly, and continue.
Alright, we're just gonna go with it.
My end goal was to
I'm just rushing this one. This one's just rushing. I can't restart. We're gonna just go with it. We're gonna put some different music on. Sometimes that's just the name of the game. You can't restart. You just gotta go with it. My internet's all weird. Huh. Bro, this is just ridiculous. I ain't even... This one is just so confusing, like... Why did I do this right here? Oh my goodness. Oh well, screw it, we're just gonna get it. There ain't going, no going back. That's what these things teach you. Sometimes you just gotta go with it. Just gotta go with the mess ups. Sorry, I'm like just not really confused what I'm doing here. Should I close that? See, I like to try and connect all my letters, but now I'm like, how do I connect that next part? I mean, I guess we could do... We're going for it. There ain't no going back now. We are flat out going for it. Okay, there we go. Whoa, this one's weird. Look at it, like, dude, that, like, it's just so odd, man. I don't know, I don't like this one at all. But it's okay. This one we're not gonna do, I think we're gonna do like, kind of like the gravity thing, like.
Taking a trip with your friends. Why pay for 4 hotel rooms to stay apart from your friends? Get an Airbnb and stay together for less.
No, I don't like this one. Fudge, this one's so lame.
Important building blocks of your brain, shown to support brain development through age 5. Try Ectomil NeuroPro today.
At this point, I'm just scribbling. I don't even... Oh, I too many little ones. See, this is what these things are so weird. Sometimes you just gotta like just go with your mistake. It's almost like you just gotta just go with it, man. Like, especially if you're on a time crunch. I cannot restart it. We're just so far into it. There's no way I can restart it now. So it's like you get what you get, man. Like. Okay, I think we're gonna do this one just as an outline. We're gonna do this one a little bit differently. We're gonna do the outline of this one and then 3D the outline. Let's go for it. Let's just go. No time to think. Just do. We did add a cross in it right there, though. I tried to acknowledge God in all my ways right there, even though I have no idea what I'm doing. We're just speedrunning this. Yeah, I kind of don't like these colors, but it's okay. Oh, I should have used a darker color. Okay. Now going back. Generally, I 3D the under one. I don't normally 3D this top one. Oh, I don't like this one. Oh, fudge. This is lame. Very, very lame. I kind of even just want to do another one, but I won't. Get to see my mistakes. This one might not even be on the thumbnail. I don't know if I want this one on the thumbnail. Spread the word. Spread the word of the gospel. Yeah, I don't like doing it this way. Because generally I do the 3D on the that layer right there. And I'm doing the 3D on the outside layer. I thought it would speed it up, but I don't like the look of it. It's okay though. Just gotta make some shapes and have fun.
A line by Ashley Sleep. Luxurious by design.
I guess let's just 3D this out a little bit more. Make it a little bit more prominent. Sorry, I haven't been looking at the chat. I'm just straight up just rushing this thing. That's what's kind of cool about these things too, because I mean there is some thinking involved, but it's almost at the point where it's just like you just gotta like go, man. Like you just, especially like, you know, if you get on that mindset of just like, bro, you just gotta go, 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 go. What is the? Oh, okay. What is this? Oh, okay, okay. Like confused. I was like, what did I just do right there? Let's do one more outline. Let's see, did we get all this right? Oh, no, that one's wrong.
worst. Can I get some antibiotics?
Come on, come on, come on.
Let's flip the script on that. Antibiotics don't work on viruses.
I wonder how long this one's taken. I think this one's taken 30 minutes.
Every year, 35,000 Americans.
Oh, come on, dude. This. Let's listen to this. Dude, this color scheme's actually kind of cool now. I've actually never done this color scheme, but those colors kind of reminded me of like thunder, you know? Berlin. Ola Chakan, Mira Miman, the Menajizan, the Nasikan, to the Bisan. Praise Jehovah. Ola Cha'an, Mini Miman, Manajijan. Ola Cha'an, Mini Miman. Those are my own sound effects. Tomorrow night? No, I'm gonna hang out with some buddies. This one is lame. Oh well, this one is just me going full bore, just full speed ahead. Like, no stopping. This is just straight up just like... I should have done this with a darker color though. Okay, we're gonna put a piece of tape on it and then we're gonna call it a day. We tried to put a cross in it though. There's like this weird cross right there. Yeah, it is hard. This one was hard. So many mess ups. Generally it's not like this. Generally it's like I'm thinking about it. I'm like, okay, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. We're gonna make this line. This is just full on like relentless seeking. Watch this one is fast. This one is definitely. It's because my friends want to hang out, so. Yeah, now I could, kind of go back and
That's around a little bit. There we go, everybody. I haven't even watched the BMX video. Jerry, I'm like looking over and seeing the BMX video. I don't even know what they're doing. But you could see all the ops. So this BMX video is like strictly like street riding. This is like, you know, like look at all the spots they're going to. These guys know the city front to back, bro. Wherever they're at, they generally know every single little spot, little nook and cranny, little ledge sticking out. These guys peer in to the cities more than most. Like every single spot is different. That's what's so crazy. Man, if I didn't tear my ACL, bro, that's what I'd be doing right now. Anyway. You got a thumbnail? Let's see if like the lighting looks better without. Yeah, it looks better like that. Oh, there's like a shadow. Yeah. There we go, everybody. Let me get a thumbnail with this one. Actually, let's do the yellow pencil. I know I didn't really draw it like that, but I'll do it like this. There we go. I hope you guys have a good one. Sorry, I'm on a little time budget today. Gotta go hang out with some buddies, so probably be doing the stream tomorrow. I'll be drawing a character tomorrow, hopefully. And guys, continue to try your best. Sorry, and sorry, Creative. I haven't looked at your message yet. I'm like so behind on my messages. I have to like look at all my messages and stuff. But yeah, you guys have a good one. We got a little. This is actually the first lightning piece. The reason why I did the lightning is almost kind of because I just like was just so like I just had to do it so fast. I was like you know. Like, let's do a lightning thing. So, the lightning one. The storm. Sons of thunder. Oh yeah, I forgot I could raid a stream. Let me see if I can find a stream to raid. Let's see here. Let's see. I normally don't raid streams. Oh, thank you. Yeah. So, by the way, I don't really post this kind of stuff, but I actually did used to do this kind of stuff a lot. And these things, what I like about these ones are just so fast, you know? Like, they're just so fast to do, and it's kind of fun sometimes. Oh, Zelda the Hobbit is streaming. We can raid her. Okay, guys, we have a really gnarly person to raid. We're gonna raid Zelda the Hobbit. Shout out to Zelda. She's a gnarly believer. You can ask her questions, and you can. She knows so much about the Bible. It's crazy, and she's a very joyous believer. So yeah, let's raid her stream. And I hope you guys have a good one. guess there's only 2 people rating. Well, we'll just rate it with 2 people. Is this? Let's see. Let's see if this even works. I don't know if my glory be to God. Gotta head out, but keep planting them seeds. Of faith. Okay, I think I end the stream now. I don't really know what I do, but you guys have a good one. Farewell. Okay, we out of here. Oh, no. Oh, stop streaming. Peace out, guys.